What is happening? Greetings and a good Friday to you all. Welcome back to the second episode of Sometimes the Old Man is Right. I'm your host, Lamont Ferguson, playing the role of the old man. Thanks for coming back. I truly appreciate it. You know, one of the things, I hope I'm coming in at the right level. Because I don't get to hear the music ahead of time. The music's done in editing. And I just hope that I'm coming in at the right level. I don't want to come in too hot. I don't want to be morning zoo DJ. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I don't want to be that guy. And I don't want to be too low, old school FM jazz DJ. Hey, what's happening? So I hope I'm coming in at the right level. I'm coming in. That's all I'm saying. Coming in. Episode 2. They said it wouldn't last, and I don't know who they are, but they said that. I listened, and I decided to renew my own contract to give myself an extension for episode 2. I listened to the original episode 1, and I found that I am not a fan of my own voice. I mean, as far as voices go, it's all right. It's not a distinctive voice. It's just voice. And I want distinctive. I don't even know if that's what I'm looking for, if it's distinctive. Commanding, maybe that's it. A little more commanding, a deep commanding voice is what I'd like. But this is the genetics. This is what I was born with. I got this voice, which is just a voice. If it was just a pitch lower, I'm not looking for Barry White. I'm not looking for James Earl Jones. Did I just say James Earls? James Earl Jones? Maybe Morgan Freeman. I'm just looking for that type. Because, I mean, it's a voice. It's an all right voice. It's not annoying, grating. It's just voice. A little timbre would be nice. Which is ironic, because I feel that if I was a lumberjack and I yelled timber with this voice, I don't think anyone would move. Anyway, enough with the nonsense. You didn't tune in to hear me lament about the desire for my vocals, lower vocals. Listen, I have got a lot of notes. I took a lot of notes for this second episode, so I'm ready. I had a week, and who knew that so many things could annoy me in a week? That I'm fired up. I'm fired up on some topics. I'll also be debuting a new segment that should be fun. So why don't we go ahead and just get at it? Again, thank you for coming back. I went to Universal Studios this past weekend. As was mentioned in the first episode, my youngest daughter, Olivia, celebrated her 8th birthday. That was on Monday, but we went on Sunday. So it was her first trip to Universal Studios. Now, here's a little thing. This is not an annoyance. I'm going to try and do a little help. That if I can give a little helpful savings tip from a guy that is notoriously known as being frugal, that's what they say, and they are my entire family. If you're planning on taking a trip to one of these amusement parks and you have saved up, I'm going to let you know, if you can at all, save up a little more before you go. And this has nothing to do with how much it's going to be. I'm just telling you that if you can get the express ride package or whatever that is, whatever it's called, I think at Universal Studios it's called the express ride package, it'll be a much more enjoyable trip. And it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you a little bit of money. Maybe close to double what the admission price is. But the truth is, you're going to spend way too much money in the first place. No matter how much you gripe and moan about the price, they're ripping you. Yeah, they are. But the price is the price. Nothing you can do about it. But spend the extra money if you can, because it makes the world of difference. The truth of the matter is, you're going to spend the majority of your time waiting in lines. you paid upwards of $100 to go into one of these amusement parks, plus whatever your travel to get there, blah, 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 and all the other stuff. And the majority of your time will be waiting in lines. If you just get the bottom end, get me in the park admission. The line for the Mummy at the park on this day was 2 hours. 2 hours. The park itself is only open for 8.5 hours. The majority of the other rides were about 45 minutes. You can do the math yourself. That is the majority of your time standing in line at a park. You could have stood in line for free at home. So you spend a little extra, you go on the rides. You know, what is it, $120? You go on about 3 rides. Most of the day you're just standing there in line. Or you can spend a little bit more than that, go on every ride. 0 lines. I'm at a point where I'm like, look, if I can afford it, I'll make it up on the back end. Let's spend the money and actually go on the rides. Because that's what we did. And we had done half the rides by about 1 o'clock. So it worked out well. So that's my savings tip from you, is to spend more money. Those are the type of savings tips I give. Now, one of the annoyances at the park was a nice day and all, but this is a little personal. Tell you about me. I am a situationally large individual. In that, I mean that compared to a football lineman, I'm not big at all. Compared to your average large man, I'm not large. But compared to people who are in any type of shape, well, then I'm the big guy. That's who I am. I'm 5'10", about 235. That's current. Pre-pandemic, I was 5'10". I mean, I didn't shrink or grow. The height's the same. But I was about 220. So it's a pretty good-sized man. As my doctor says, large-framed. I like that he says that, because that's nice. That's more pleasant. I'm a large-framed man. At one point, I was an athlete. Now, not so much. Just more athletic is what I am. I'm athletic compared to being an athlete now. That's the best way to describe this mess of a physique that I have let myself go. Now, I love playing basketball, but there was a lot of basketball injuries. It's a lot of jumping. It's a lot of landing, a lot of quick cuts and starts. I still play. I still play 4 times a week, even though I shouldn't. The reason I'm telling you this is because my knees are a mess because of all that basketball. My left knee is missing the MCL, medial collateral ligament, from an injury that just tore out, and there was no point in replacing it. My right knee, also some injury damage in there that I never got checked out because I was done playing competitive basketball. So I've got a good quality 90-degree bend in my knees, but that's it. Nothing more. It's a good, solid 90-degree bend, and I found that that's really all I need. I don't need any more than that. It enables me to do whatever it is I need to do. 90-degree bend is all you need. You can sit down, you can drive, you can kind of run. It's anything that you would possibly need that'll get you through a normal day, as long as that day doesn't include going on a ride at Universal Studios. Now, I've been there before, and they have most of their rides, it's easy. 90 degrees will get you through. But the Mummy is not a 90-degree angle bend. It's an acute angle bend. They've got rides there that are acute angles, and I'm an obtuse guy. That I'm gonna get that put up on some t-shirts. The Mummy, I'll fit in there, but it'll be a very painful ride the entire time. So I knew, okay, I'll avoid the Mummy. But because this time I could go on every ride, and just walk to the front of the line, I found there are 2 more rides that I have no business being on. The Secret Life of Pets, which is just a kid's ride. It's barely moving. I don't know why we need all this security. I mean, I get why we need all the safety and security, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just trying to sit on a ride that's going 0 miles per hour. And I go, and usually I can position my legs somehow to where they don't have to bend all that. But this ride, you had to bend them, and it was very uncomfortable. And then there was a ride in the Harry Potter, the world's shortest roller coaster, by the way. I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be painful for all this time. And then it was over. So at least it wasn't long. But that's another where you've got to bend like a 70-degree angle. You don't need... When do you need to have your knees at a 70-degree angle? Really? I'm a grown man. 70 degrees, that's for children that are doing things like squats and whatever it is that you do with a 70-degree bend. I don't need that. So there was a moment there at Universal Studios where there was a little panic, a little embarrassment-induced panic that came over me while I'm trying to fit into this car. And then people come over and they're like, oh no sir, you got to bend your knees. And I'm like, I don't think my knees bend like that. And then I kind of situate them and get in there. But there was that moment where I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to do the fat person amusement park walk of shame. And you know what I'm talking about, where that person, they can't push the lap bar down on, and they're like, oh, sorry. And then they got to get up and walk out of the ride. Now, mine wouldn't have been because the lap bar didn't go down. It'd be because I couldn't bend my knees. But you know what? The people in the line, they don't know that. They just think, oh, that situationally large man, he can't fit in the ride. So it was very close. I was almost that guy. There's that moment. It washes over you. Like, oh, no. I'm that guy? How did I become that guy? But fortunately, I wasn't that guy. So that was one annoyance that took place. And it's my fault. Nothing I can do. You know, hey, I played a lot of basketball. My knees they're full of scar tissue and sometimes liquid, and it's annoying. But what am I going to do? I'm not going to complain to them. I'm not going to go Karen on them and say, hey, how come I can't? This is a me problem, not a they problem. This is a me problem. Other people seem to have no problem bending their knees at a childlike 70 degrees. The other annoyance I found on this particular day has to do with vaccine rules and regulations. Now, this is going to be a weird path, so you got to follow me on this. I want to say, first of all, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, nor an anti-masker. I am fully vaccinated. I don't like when people say double vaccinated. That's silly, because the procedure was to get 2 shots with whatever medication, Pfizer or Moderna. So no, you're fully vaccinated. The procedure was that. So I'm fully vaccinated. I've been so for quite a while. No ill effects from the vaccine. I wear a mask when I enter a building that requires me to do so. So now that being said, after a day at Universal Studios, I can say that I completely understand the frustration of some of the people on the other side of the argument. Now, it's not the conspiracy people. No, I can't. Not the, oh, this is a hoax, or Bill Gates is trying to control the population conspiracy people. Not those people. I don't even have words for those people. I just know living in their heads must be exhausting. It has to be absolutely exhausting. I'm talking about the people who want to counter the argument that the policies keep changing, because that is frustrating. And I get it. I understand, but it's a little annoying. It does make it seem like the people that we put in charge don't really know what's going on. And then that gives fuel to the other side as to why they want to say everything is not real, it's all a hoax, blah, 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 whatever it is. We shut everything down. And my thought was, man, you better come up with a Nicolas Cage in the movie Next type of endings and possibilities during this shutdown. Because there is no way that you are going to be able to shut this thing down again. You get one shot. They get one shot to shut everything around. You get one shot to get it right. These are the brightest and the best minds. You get one shot. Because this is America. And if you haven't noticed, people here are crazy. They're a little tightly wound. I said it about myself in the last episode, but the truth is, America itself is a red or blue wire bomb situation on an hourly basis. So we were told, get vaccinated, and then we'll be able to get rid of the masks, and we can get life back to normal. And we listen. Not everyone, but I follow rules. I trust that there are people who are smarter than me. That's how I operate. So I went, I got vaccinated. And remember, there was a 72-hour period where they told us, hey, those of you that aren't vaccinated, or those of you that are vaccinated, you can go outside, no more masks. You can be around other people that are vaccinated without masks. And when you're outdoors, you don't have to wear a mask. And that was a glorious 72 hours. Because in hour 73, they're like, oh, you know what? Just stay indoors. Just everybody stay inside. And it's this changing of the rule. And I know as new data comes in, we got to have different things that take place. I get it. Believe me, I get it. But what it's causing is that I now don't have a decisive enough counter for the people on the other side that are frustrated and use that as their argument. And that's what makes it annoying and frustrating. So I was there at the park, outdoors, with a mask, fully vaccinated. Because that's normal? I don't know. It's like I said, you just don't have a decisive argument. Because in our argument, the people that follow the advice and the trust the science peoples, our argument is that you just get a couple of shots. Okay, wait, now it's 3 shots. Wear a mask, and we should be outdoors, and this will be close to the new normal, maybe, huh? Anyway, I will continue to do what the doctors and scientists say, and then just hope that time moves quickly. That's really all I can do. I don't feel I'm important enough to where I was the voice to lead the resistance. I'm going to listen to what they say, and like I said, just hope we get out of this. You know what? I started thinking about this. What they should have done is what they did in a TV show I used to watch called Wayward Pines. I don't know if you've seen this show. It's on Hulu. I think it had about 3-season run, but I loved it. I enjoyed the show. They had a situation where, in essence, it was kind of a pandemic, and all they did was put everyone into cryosleep until it was over. And I kind of think that's really what we should have done, is put people into cryosleep. Go, look, you just go to sleep for about 3 years. You wake up, it'll be 2023 or 2020. We don't know. We'll just move the calendar. We don't care. We'll do whatever it is. And then you just go on with your lives. Although in that show, they did not tell the people, which was probably the right and smart thing to do. Because can you imagine the nightmare if we told people, hey, you got to go to sleep for 3 years? You're infringing on my freedom to be awake. Being nuts. The other annoyance that stemmed from this past week has to do with technology. Google Maps in particular. The Google Maps is frustrating because it is almost good. It is almost doing the job that you'd want it to be doing. They did an update on Google Maps about, 2 months ago that was horrible. It is absolutely horrible. It's the worst thing. I get in the car and I use it to go places, and I'm just yelling at it the entire time. I'd rather use Thomas Brothers Maps. Shout out to the Thomas Brothers. Those guys. They thought they had a business that was going to last forever. And then Google came along and put them out of business. They're like, how do we not see this coming? There's many problems with the Google Maps thing. First of all, there's not enough notice. I am in California. I need ample notice. A lot of notice. Like 2 miles of notice. Because of the amount of traffic and people that are on the roads and highways. The other day, I'm using it. It gave me, the only notice was an 800-foot notice. In 800 feet, turn 800 feet? And it knows I'm in California. It's Google Maps. 800 feet is not enough notice. I'm in the far right lane, and in 800 feet, turn left. It might as well have just said, hey, in 800 feet, you can look at the exit you should have taken or the turn you should have made, because there's no way in hell that you're going to be able to get over in this lane that you're in. The other thing is the feet, at 800 feet. Why are we giving directions in feet? The very popular one, in 1,000 feet, turn right. 1,000 feet? I don't know what 1,000 feet is. I'm supposed to eyeball 1,000 feet? You know what's before 1,000 feet? At least one possible place to turn. And you think, is that far? Is it not far? Have I gone 1,000 feet? Now you got to do comparison math in your head while driving. Is this 1,000 feet? Let me see. A football field is 100 yards. That's 300 feet. So now I got to go at least 3 football fields, and I've missed the turn. Can we give directions like regular people give damn directions? At the second light, turn right. No, not this light. This is the first light. Count this light. The next light, turn right. That would help. 1,000 feet does nothing for me. I'm already panicked as it is because I don't know where I'm going. Do you understand that, Google Maps? I don't know where I'm going. There's other people on the road. 1,000 feet, I don't know where that is. Or give landmarks. At the intersection, you'll see a 7-Eleven on your left and a Yum Yum Donuts across from it. Turn right there. That's perfect. And you can do that because you're Google Maps. Or you can give directions like old people and tell us what used to be there. And it would be much better than anything that Google Maps is doing now. I got a couple of more stories, and then we'll debut the segment, and then I'll turn you loose. You know what? I've never understood a single cologne or perfume commercial. I know I can't be alone. I don't know who that's marketed to, but they're always weird. There's a new one out with Johnny Depp. I don't know what the product is. I just know it's a fragrance. Johnny Depp playing a guitar. There's a wolf in it. He's in the desert. He doesn't say anything. And then they just throw up the bottle of perfume or cologne. And that's every one of these commercials. It's a woman running, it's a chiffon dress blowing, and then boom, perfume. I don't get it. It's a weird market. It's like, here's our subconscious thoughts. I hope it makes you buy cologne. And they pay those celebrities a lot of money, so I don't get it. The final story before I go to the segment. I saw a person on a podcast that was a young person. They were an anti-vaxxer. And they were saying the reason is they don't trust the media. And I can understand that. Because as a person that writes a lot of topical news jokes or scrolls through a lot of news items, I can see how the distrust of the media works. It's a huge bias as to what you read. And I'm going to give you an example right now. Because this was the story I saw. And it made me laugh. And then I did a little more research of the story. And then I realized, oh, okay, I get it. So, I don't know if you guys saw the headline of a woman accused of starting the wildfires. So she's in court. And the story, the headline was like, a woman accused of starting the wildfire was trying to boil water. So I thought, okay, that's an eye-grabbing headline. It will get your attention. Oh my goodness, look at this person, this dumb person. They can't boil water, and they started a wildfire in California, in Northern California. And you read it, and as you go along, my thought was, oh, this has to be like a boomer, like a baby boomer, Jess, licking their chops at this story. The reporter has to be that, because everything in the story, Jess is making fun of that generation. The lady, her name is Alexandra Suverneva, I believe is how you pronounce her name, and she's 30. And I thought, this is not the headline you want as a millennial. This is everything that the older generation said. They can't even boil water, these idiots. So this 30-year-old girl is accused of starting the fires because she tried to boil water. But when you read more into the story, you go down there and it says, according to her LinkedIn page, she described herself as a quote-unquote shaman and was previously a yoga instructor and a dive master. And so that's what it says in the story. And then you read it and it's skewed where you're saying, oh, look at these millennials. Those aren't even real jobs. A yoga instructor? Come on, please. Is that a dive master? Is that really a job? Is that something? A shaman? So I thought that was kind of funny. I thought, man, look at the boomers having their revenge. And then I went to Alexandra Suverneva's LinkedIn page. And then I realized, oh, this is the media, how it can be spun in any way that you want. Yes, I don't know where it says she's a shaman. That's not listed in her experience on her LinkedIn. But yoga teacher is there and dive master is there under licenses and certifications. You know what else she is that was listed many times on this? She has a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry and Biology. That's what also this slacker millennial has. She is a chem and bio tutor. She has been a research associate for different places, a graduate research assistant at places. Like, she's done some stuff. This is not your, hey, look at this slacker millennial thing. This girl has some, I shouldn't say girl, this young lady has some credibility. Now, they didn't put that in there because that didn't fit the narrative of it. So I can understand the young people's frustration, but it is a very interesting thing to discover where people are saying one thing and then you look at it and go, well, yeah, it's kind of that, but you cherry picked some stuff. It was interesting because she did make a discovery. The lady, if you go back to the article, the lady says she believed that she came across some water, but she believed that the water contained bear urine, so she was trying to filter the water through a tea bag, and that didn't work, so then she was trying to make a fire to boil the water. Which is interesting. I don't know how you look at water and just believe that it contains bear urine. Like, I'm pretty sure water in the wild contains all sorts of things. Like, even a river or stream, that contains fish urine. I'm pretty sure that's in there to begin with. I don't know what bear urine in water looks like or smells like. I don't know. But anyway, that is the final thing that was annoying me. And then I learned a little something. All right, and I'm passing the savings on to you. Now I'd like to debut a new segment. Well, debut and new, that's a bit redundant, so I apologize for that. Like I said, I'm learning. This segment is called I Wish a Muffuga Would. That's the segment. I wish a motherfucker would. Because I saw this news story about, this was in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And my sister, one of my sisters lives in Virginia Beach. And it's a family, a black family that moved into a neighborhood. And their neighbor is, one of their neighbors is tormenting them by playing loud music and loud over speakers, racial slurs, and then monkey sounds, just trying to make their lives miserable, which it is. And comedy bits over a loudspeaker whenever they show up. Like whenever the husband parks, there's these loudspeakers. And one of the things is it's like a skit that yells out, black people have nothing better to do but to go to a comedy club on Friday night. I don't even know what that is. Or I guess part of somebody's bit that was just to say the N-word, like, hey, look, it's N-word guy. Everyone say, hi, N-word guy. And that brought me to the point of, I wish a motherfucker would. I wish. This must be young people. Because this story would not get to the news in this manner if it was me. It can't. See, young people, you've got other life in front of you. At 56, I know this ride is nearly over, and I'd be willing to go out with a bang. My neighbor is playing, hey, look, it's N-word guy. Everybody say hi, N-word guy. You'd only find out the details of this story until that guy on Dateline told you the story. Till Keith Morrison said, and that's when Ferguson had enough. Because it would be horrible. It would be the worst. It would be a combination of Saw and Neighbors. That would be my revenge on this dude. You got to be kidding me. That's what you believe, that you're emboldened to be able to do? Because the police can't do anything about it. The police showed up and they said, while it's appalling, it's not criminally actionable. Well, my revenge would be criminally actionable. It would be absolutely criminally, like I said, it would be Dateline NBC worthy. So that is the story. You can go check that out, that story, on the segment of I Wish a Muffuga Would. All right. I've talked long enough. I've given you enough for the week. We'll see what this week holds in store for me, whether it's going to be as annoying. I thank you kindly for finding again. Hopefully, I'll renew for a third episode every Friday That's where you can find it. Anything where the podcasts are, your podcast store. Some touring information. October 22nd and 23rd, I will be appearing at the Ventura Harbor Comedy Club. You can find any information about appearances or other stuff that I'm up to at lamontferguson.com. That's your one-stop Lamont Ferguson shopping spot. That's what that is. So you can check anything out right there. YouTube links, other things, merch. It's all there. Whatever you need. I hope you have a great week. And as always, keep in mind, look, I know we're cranky. We're sometimes antiquated. But sometimes the old man is right. See you next week.